A young man named Alex woke up every morning before dawn. He lived in a small apartment, surrounded by the hum of city life. To him, life was akin to a race, one that demanded speed, strategy, and relentless determination. From the moment his alarm clock blared, signaling the start of a new day, Alex felt the weight of expectations pressing down on him. He was not just racing against time, he was racing against himself, pushing to achieve more than he did the day before. Every day, Alex followed a meticulously crafted routine. He jogged in the park for half an hour as the sun rose, feeling the cool breeze on his face and watching the world wake up. This morning ritual invigorated him. After his run, he would gulp down a protein shake, rush through a quick shower, and throw on his work clothes, ready to conquer another day at his corporate job. The office was a jungle where colleagues competed for promotions and recognition. Alex thrived on this competition, channeling his energy into meeting deadlines and impressing his bosses, driving himself harder with each passing day. As the weeks turned into months, Alex found himself overwhelmed by the crushing weight of expectations. Despite the praise from his friends for his relentless ambition, he often questioned the value of his sacrifices. Days blurred together without distinction, turning weekends into mere breaks filled with obligations. Social events felt superficial, leaving him longing for deeper connections that had fallen by the wayside. One evening, exhausted from a long day at work, Alex stumbled across a quaint bookshop, its inviting atmosphere beckoning him inside. Drawn to a particular book, he discovered a new perspective on life's journey, pondering what he might have overlooked in his pursuit of success. Intrigued by the title, Alex opened the book, his eyes drawn to the beautiful illustrations of paths leading in different directions. As he read, he found himself captivated by stories of individuals who had ventured beyond the conventional definitions of success, seeking fulfillment and happiness in unexpected places. Each page offered wisdom that resonated with his own feelings of discontent, stirring something deep within him. For the first time in months, he felt a flicker of hope, a reminder that life could hold more than just endless work and ambition. The author spoke of life as a marathon rather than a sprint, emphasizing the importance of enjoying the journey rather than solely focusing on the end goal. Inspired, Alex purchased the book and headed home, reflecting on how he could apply these lessons to his own life. As the days turned into weeks, Alex incorporated the lessons from the book into his daily life. He began taking short breaks during work to stretch and breathe, finding moments of mindfulness amidst the chaos. He started reaching out to old friends, reconnecting over coffee instead of work-related discussions. Slowly, he learned to appreciate the small victories and moments of joy that life offered. Instead of viewing his career as a continuous race, he began to see it as a journey filled with opportunities for growth and connection. With each passing day, Alex embraced the idea that life was not just about reaching the finish line, but savoring every step along the way. He discovered that this mindset transformed not only his outlook, but also enriched his relationships and sense of well-being. In a small village, a wise old man named Eli was known for his unwavering trust in others. One day, he lost a prized key that unlocked a chest filled with treasures. Instead of searching alone, he called upon the villagers and told them, "I trust you all to help me find it." The villagers hesitated at first, but soon joined the search. They scoured every corner, sharing stories and laughter. As they worked together, they found not just the key, but also a newfound bond among themselves. When the key was finally discovered under an old oak tree, Eli smiled. "You see," he said, holding it up, "trust isn't just about believing in others, it's about bringing people together." From that day on, the village thrived, united by the trust they had built, proving that trust can unlock the greatest treasures of all, friendship and community. The village not only prospered, but became a place where everyone looked out for one another, their hearts filled with a deep sense of connection and loyalty. In a bustling marketplace, a young girl named Lila lost her grandmother's precious necklace. Distraught, she approached her close friend Sam, who offered to help her search. Lila wasn't sure if everyone in the market could be trusted. but Sam said, "Let's ask everyone. You can't do this alone." Together, they asked vendors and shoppers about the necklace. With each person they spoke to, Lila learned about the kindness of strangers. After a long search, an elderly woman returned the necklace, saying, "I found this on the ground. It must belong to someone special." Lila hugged Sam, realizing that trust opened doors to not just finding lost things, but also building connections with others. From that day, she understood that trusting people could lead to wonderful surprises. As Lila walked home that evening, she felt a newfound sense of hope and connection with the world around her. The experiences of the day lingered in her heart, reminding her that sometimes the unexpected could lead to the most beautiful moments. In a classroom, a teacher presented her students with a challenging puzzle. However, she purposely left out one key piece. The students worked hard, trying to complete it, but struggled without that final piece. Frustrated, the students began to bicker, pointing fingers at each other. Finally, the teacher asked, "What if you all work together instead? Can you trust one another to find the missing piece?" Reluctantly, they agreed. Each student shared ideas and methods, and slowly, they began to see the puzzle from different angles. In their collaboration, they discovered that one of the students had accidentally been sitting on the missing piece. With laughter and cheers, they completed the puzzle, realizing that trust led to teamwork and success. They not only finished the puzzle but created friendships that would last beyond the classroom walls. As the final bell rings, the teacher looks around the room, satisfied with the lesson learned, that collaboration and trust can lead to greater achievements. A little girl named Sophie was heartbroken when her beloved grandmother passed away. She missed her terribly and didn't know how to express her feelings. One night, she decided to write a letter to her grandmother, pouring out her heart and sharing all the things she wished she could still tell her. After writing the letter, Sophie went outside and carefully placed it in a small box, which she decorated with drawings and stickers. She looked up at the sky and said, "God, please send this to Grandma." Feeling a sense of peace, she tucked the box under her pillow. The next morning, she woke up to find a small feather beside her bed. It filled her with joy and comfort, believing it was a sign from her grandmother. Sophie smiled, understanding that God had listened to her prayer and that her connection to her grandmother would always remain strong, even beyond life. Maya was going through a tough time after losing her job. Each day felt heavier than the last, and her faith began to waver. One night, feeling especially defeated, she took a walk to a nearby park, seeking solace among the stars. Sitting on a bench, she prayed quietly, asking for guidance and hope. As she gazed into the night sky, she noticed a little girl nearby talking to herself while drawing in the dirt with a stick. Intrigued, Maya watched as the girl drew a large sun with rays extending outward. Suddenly, the girl looked up and exclaimed, "The sun will always shine again, even after the storms." Maya felt a warmth in her heart at the child's innocent wisdom. It was as if God had sent her a message through this little girl. Inspired, she returned home with a renewed mindset. The next day, she updated her resume and began networking, ultimately landing a job that reignited her passion. While waiting in line at a grocery store, Marcus noticed a young mother struggling with a fussy toddler and a full cart. As the mother juggled her items and tried to calm her child, Marcus stepped forward and offered to help her unload her cart onto the conveyor belt. She gratefully accepted, and they chatted briefly about parenting. By the time they finished, the atmosphere was lighter, and the mother thanked Marcus profusely for his kindness. His small act of assistance brightened her day and reminded him that sometimes the simplest gestures can make the biggest difference. Marcus smiled warmly as he assisted the young mother, noticing the toddler's curiosity during the brief exchange. The young mother laughed lightly, cradling her child in one arm as she expressed her gratitude towards Marcus for his unexpected kindness. While taking a break from work, Lily impulsively decided to go for a short hike in a nearby nature reserve. As she ascended the trail, she took a deep breath, inhaling the fresh, crisp air and soaking in the vibrant autumn colors surrounding her. At the summit, she paused to take in the panoramic view, feeling a profound sense of gratitude for the beauty nature offered. That moment of solitude became a cherished memory, reminding her to take time for herself amidst life's chaos and to appreciate the world around her. With a heart full of gratitude, Lily began her descent, carrying the tranquility of nature back into her everyday life. Each step echoed her commitment to finding moments of peace amidst the busyness of life. Sitting on her balcony one evening, Sarah heard the faint strumming of a guitar from a nearby apartment. Curious, she leaned over the railing and saw her neighbor playing a beautiful melody. Instead of returning to her book, Sarah listened intently, allowing the music to wash over her. After a few songs, she clapped and called out, complimenting his talent. To her surprise, he invited her down to listen more closely. They spent the rest of the evening sharing their love for music, creating a new friendship that turned into many evenings filled with laughter and tunes. As Sarah descended the stairs with a smile, her anticipation grew, eager to connect with the music that had captured her attention. The two of them sat on the floor of his apartment, surrounded by playful notes and laughter, sharing stories while he played his guitar. As the holiday season approached, the Smith family decided to decorate their home with lights. One chilly evening, they stepped outside to admire their handiwork, only to find their neighbor struggling to hang lights on their taller house. Without hesitation, they grabbed their ladder and offered help. Together, they laughed and shared stories while decorating, creating a festive atmosphere in their community. The Smiths learned that sometimes, stepping out of their routine to help others can lead to unexpected friendships and a deeper sense of belonging during the holidays. As they worked side by side, laughter filled the air and stories of past holidays began to flow. The neighbor shared fond memories of their family's traditions, while the Smiths opened up about how they celebrated each year. The chilly evening turned warm with camaraderie, where each light strung was a symbol of their growing friendship. By the time they finished, both homes sparkled brightly against the night sky, a testament to the joy of teamwork and community spirit during the holidays. While grocery shopping, Paul noticed an elderly man struggling to reach for an item on a high shelf. Without hesitation, Paul approached and handed him the can. The man's eyes lit up as he thanked Paul profusely. They started chatting, and Paul learned about the man's love for gardening and his late wife's favorite flowers. As they parted ways, the man gifted Paul a packet of seeds from his garden. That small act of kindness reminded Paul of the importance of looking out for one another and how one small gesture can brighten someone's day. As Paul walked away, he felt a warm sense of connection to the elderly man. He looked down at the packet of seeds in his hand, pondering how such a small action had sparked a meaningful interaction. Back at home, Paul placed the seeds on his kitchen counter, committing to plant them in his garden. With each flower that bloomed, he would remember the kind man and the importance of kindness in this busy world. Jane often spent her Saturdays at her favorite coffee shop, scribbling in her journal. One weekend, she overheard a group of musicians discussing their latest song. Intrigued, she listened as they shared lyrics inspired by everyday life. After gathering the courage, Jane approached them and shared her own poetry. To her surprise, they invited her to collaborate. What started as a chance eavesdrop blossomed into new friendships and creative partnerships. Jane learned that inspiration could be found in the most unexpected places, reminding her to remain open to the beauty around her. With each passing day, she embraced new experiences and connections, realizing that her journey was just beginning in this vibrant world of creativity. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, a spontaneous gathering unfolded one evening as families came together in their front yards, lighting up the street with laughter and chatter. Kids played tag while adults exchanged stories and homemade treats. Among them, a woman named Karen reminisced about her childhood memories in the same neighborhood. The evening air filled with the aroma of barbecued burgers and the sound of distant music, creating a sense of nostalgia and belonging. Everyone left feeling a little closer, realizing that simplicity and community can bring immense joy to their lives. As the sun set, fairy lights twinkled across porches, casting a warm glow over smiling faces, while a grill sizzled with burgers and hot dogs in the corner of a yard. A close-up shot of Karen's thoughtful expression revealed her joy as she shared her childhood story, surrounded by captivated friends who nodded and laughed in response. After dinner, Mark decided to take a stroll around his neighborhood. As he walked, he noticed the details he often overlooked, the way the streetlights illuminated the sidewalk, the sound of leaves rustling in the evening breeze, and the laughter of children playing in a nearby park. He paused to watch them, letting their joy wash over him. In that moment, Mark realized how important it was to slow down and appreciate the simple pleasures of life. The warmth of the evening air, the rhythm of laughter, and the beauty of a starry sky beginning to unfold. Feeling a wave of tranquility, Mark took a deep breath, inhaling the fresh evening air. He reflected on his daily routine that often rushed him past moments like this, where beauty lay in the ordinary. With every step, he felt more connected to his surroundings, the gentle sounds of nature and the distant hum of neighbors enjoying their own evenings. As he strolled further, he couldn't help but smile, realizing that sometimes the simplest moments hold the most profound joys. In a small classroom, the teacher noticed little Emma sitting alone, her brow furrowed in concentration. Curious, she approached and found Emma coloring a picture of a giant rainbow. When asked why she chose such bright colors, Emma looked up and said, "Because the world is filled with colors, and I want everyone to see that it's beautiful." Inspired, the teacher decided to hang Emma's artwork in the hallway. Each day, the vibrant rainbow greeted students and staff alike, reminding them to appreciate the beauty in diversity and the creativity that blooms from our imaginations. As students walked down the school hallway, their faces lit up at the sight of Emma's colorful rainbow artwork displayed prominently on the wall. The hallway was adorned with other students' projects, but Emma's rainbow stood out, evoking smiles and conversations among peers. On her way to work one rainy morning, Mia rushed to catch her bus, only to realize she had forgotten her umbrella. As she stood waiting, drenched and frustrated, a stranger approached and offered her a spare umbrella. Surprised by the kindness of someone she had never met, Mia gratefully accepted. They shared small talk while waiting for the bus, and she learned he was a fellow commuter who had experienced similar rainy days. When they parted ways, Mia felt a renewed sense of hope in humanity. That simple act of kindness reminded her that even strangers could brighten a gloomy day. As Mia stepped onto the bus, she turned to see the kind stranger waving goodbye, a smile spreading across her face. The clouds began to part, allowing sunlight to stream through the windows, lifting her spirits even higher. Sitting by the window, she felt that her rainy morning had transformed into a bright opportunity. This encounter reminded her that small gestures could lead to significant moments, making her day not just bearable, but special. While cleaning out her attic, Clara stumbled upon an old record player and a dusty collection of vinyls from her childhood. Curious, she set it up and placed the first record on the turntable. As the music crackled to life, she was instantly transported back to family gatherings where everyone danced and sang along. Lost in nostalgia, she couldn't help but smile as memories flooded back, laughter, joy, and the love that filled those moments. Dancing alone in her attic, she realized how a simple song could evoke such warmth and remind her of the importance of family and togetherness. As she moved to the rhythm of the music, Clara recalled her parents' laughter, her siblings' playful antics, and the warmth of those cherished family moments. Each note seemed to weave a thread connecting her to the past, pulling at her heartstrings in the most beautiful way. The attic transformed into a stage where she became the lead in a play written by love and memories. Clara closed her eyes, immersing herself in the symphony of her childhood, feeling both a sense of loss and gratitude for those days gone by. With every song that played, she felt a deeper connection to her roots, realizing that family, like music, has a way of reviving the spirit. On her way to work one rainy morning, Mia rushed to catch her bus, only to realize she had forgotten her umbrella. As she stood waiting, drenched and frustrated, a stranger approached and offered her a spare umbrella. Surprised by the kindness of someone she had never met, Mia gratefully accepted. They shared small talk while waiting for the bus, and she learned he was a fellow commuter who had experienced similar rainy days. When they parted ways, Mia felt a renewed sense of hope in humanity. That simple act of kindness reminded her that even strangers could brighten a gloomy day. As the rain continued to pour, Mia felt the warmth of gratitude spreading through her heart. They shared stories about their jobs and little moments that made mundane days brighter. The stranger's cheerful demeanor reminded Mia of the goodness in the world. Just as their conversation wrapped up, the bus pulled up to the curb, its lights cutting through the rain. With a wave of her hand, Mia stepped onto the bus, carrying with her not just a borrowed umbrella, but a renewed sense of optimism for the day ahead. On her way to work one rainy morning, Mia rushed to catch her bus, only to realize she had forgotten her umbrella. As she stood waiting, drenched and frustrated, a stranger approached and offered her a spare umbrella. Surprised by the kindness of someone she had never met, Mia gratefully accepted. They shared small talk while waiting for the bus, and she learned he was a fellow commuter who had experienced similar rainy days. When they parted ways, Mia felt a renewed sense of hope in humanity. That simple act of kindness reminded her that even strangers could brighten a gloomy day. As the bus approached, Mia felt a warmth in her heart that contrasted with the chilly rain. The stranger's smile had made the grey morning feel a little brighter, and she realized that moments like these were what life was truly about. She thanked him once more before stepping onto the bus, holding the umbrella close as a reminder of their encounter. The doors closed, and as the bus pulled away, Mia waved goodbye, knowing that sometimes a small act could change someone's entire day. Reflecting on her journey, she decided to pay it forward, hoping to be the stranger who brings a little sunshine into someone else's life. Emily had planned a big birthday celebration for her friend Mia, but a last-minute work commitment forced her to cancel. Feeling guilty, Emily sent a quick text apologizing. The next day, Mia showed up at Emily's house with her favorite takeout and a small cake. "I know you're busy, but I wanted to celebrate us," Mia said with a smile. Emily realized that it wasn't about grand gestures, it was the thoughtfulness behind Mia's actions that meant the most. They spent the evening laughing, eating, and reminiscing about old times. It became one of their favorite birthdays, simply because they chose to be together and appreciate each other, reminding Emily that the little things can create the sweetest memories. In that moment, Emily understood the true essence of friendship and how meaningful connections often transcend elaborate celebrations. James lived next door to Mrs. Thompson, a sweet but elderly woman who often seemed lonely. One day, as James was pulling into his driveway, he noticed her struggling with her groceries. He quickly parked and offered his help. They chatted as he carried her bags inside, and she shared stories of her garden and her late husband. Afterward, James started stopping by more often, sharing small meals or just exchanging smiles. The little acts of kindness transformed their days. Mrs. Thompson looked forward to their chats, and James discovered the joy of connection. It became a beautiful friendship, proving how simple gestures can brighten lives and foster community. Their friendship blossomed into a treasured part of their lives, forever changing their outlook on community. Every morning, Sarah brewed her coffee before heading to work. Each day, she took a moment to savor the rich aroma and warmth of the cup in her hands. One particularly hectic Monday, she rushed through her routine, barely pausing to enjoy her drink. As she stepped outside, she noticed the sun rising, painting the sky in vibrant shades of orange and pink. Taking a deep breath, she decided to sit on her porch for a moment, sipping her coffee slowly. In those few minutes, her stress melted away, and she felt grateful for simple moments. From then on, she made it a point to appreciate her mornings, finding joy in the little things that started her day right. In a bright, bustling city, there was a girl named Lila who loved her smartphone. She played games and watched videos for hours. One day, she discovered a new app labeled Adventure Awaits. Intrigued, she opened it and was amazed to find virtual rewards for completing real-life challenges. The first challenge was simple: talk to a stranger and learn something new. Hesitant but excited, Lila approached the librarian at her local library, where she learned about a fascinating world of books and stories. With each completed task, she unlocked new adventures and even virtual pets. As the days passed, Lila realized that her real-life experiences were far more rewarding than her time spent glued to the screen. By the end of the month, she had made new friends, explored her city, and discovered her love for reading. Lila understood that while technology can spark joy, the true magic lies in engaging with the wonderful world around her. एक दिन, ओशो ध्यान पर प्रवचन दे रहे थे, जब एक जिज्ञासु शिष्य ने अपना हाथ उठाया और पूछा, ओशो, सच्ची आध्यात्मिकता प्राप्त करने का रहस्य क्या है? ओशो ने उसे एक चमकती आंख से देखा और जवाब दिया, रहस्य सरल है। बस मेरे जैसे बनो, हमेशा अनुयायियों से घिरे रहो। शिष्य भ्रमित होकर बोला, लेकिन ओशो, आप तो गुरु हैं, आपके पास सारी ज्ञान है। ओशो हंसते हुए बोले, आह, लेकिन आप देखिए, ज्ञान प्राप्त करने के लिए पहले प्रश्नों से बचना सीखना पड़ता है। कमरे में हंसी गूंज उठी जब ओशो ने जारी रखा, मैंने सीखा है कि जितना कम मैं कहता हूँ, उतना ही मुझे गलत समझा जाता है, और जितने अधिक अनुयायी होते हैं, तो याद रखना, कभी कभी चुप्पी बहुत कुछ कहती है, विशेष रूप से यदि आप बिल्कुल कुछ न करते हुए बुद्धिमान दिखने की कला में माहिर हो जाएं। शिष्य ने सिर हिलाते हुए महसूस किया कि शायद आध्यात्मिकता का मार्ग सारे उत्तरों का होना नहीं, बल्कि अप्रत्याशित क्षणों की खुशी को अपनाना और रास्ते में एक अच्छी हंसी साझा करना है। As the last car drove away, Linda stood at the doorway, watching her children leave for college. The house felt eerily quiet. For years, she had poured her heart into raising them, and now it felt like her purpose was drifting away. Sitting alone in the living room, she glanced at family photos lining the wall, snapshots of laughter, holidays, and milestones. Tears brimmed in her eyes as she realized this was just a new chapter. Picking up her paintbrush, she decided to create a new canvas depicting her children's journeys, a celebration of their growth and independence. In that moment, she understood that love doesn't fade, it evolves. She realized that her love would always be present, manifesting in new forms as her children embarked on their own paths. एक छोटे से गांव में रात के समय सन्नाटा पसरा हुआ था। रमेश, जो गांव का डाकिया था, रोज की तरह अपने काम से लौट रहा था। अचानक रास्ते में उसे एक आवाज सुनाई दी। उसने ध्यान से देखा तो एक आदमी अंधेरे में छिपा हुआ था। रमेश ने सोचा कि शायद कुछ गड़बड़ है और धीरे धीरे उस ओर बढ़ा। जब वो पास पहुंचा तो देखा कि वो आदमी किसी का बटुआ चुरा रहा था। रमेश ने हिम्मत जुटाई और चुपके से चोर को पकड़ने की कोशिश की, लेकिन चोर तेज था। वो भागने लगा, पर रमेश ने हिम्मत नहीं हारी और उसका पीछा किया। कुछ ही दूरी पर चोर फिसल कर गिर गया। रमेश ने उसे पकड़कर गांव वालों को बुला लिया। गांव वालों की मदद से चोर को पुलिस के हवाले कर दिया गया। अगले दिन रमेश की बहादुरी के चर्चे पूरे गांव में थे। गांव के सभी लोग रमेश की बहादुरी की कहानियां सुनाते हैं और उसकी सराहना करते हैं। रमेश ने बच्चों को अपनी बहादुरी की कहानी सुनाई, जिससे सभी ने उसे हीरो मान लिया। In a quaint village nestled between emerald hills, there lived a young girl named Mira, whose spirit mirrored the beauty of her surroundings. She had a special gift. She could hear the whispers of the wind. The villagers spoke of her ability with both awe and skepticism, but Mira cherished her connection to nature. One day, while wandering through the forest, she heard the wind carrying a warning. A great storm was approaching. Realizing she needed to act, she rushed back to the village. "We must prepare," she urged the villagers, her voice firm yet filled with urgency. Though hesitant at first, they eventually rallied together, securing homes and gathering supplies. When the storm hit, the village was ready. Thanks to Mira's insight, everyone banded together, protecting one another and their belongings. After the storm passed, the village celebrated Mira's bravery and wisdom. They learned to trust in her gift and the importance of listening to nature.